Alright, so welcome back, guys, or welcome to your first time here. I'm Vision here with Blind Entertainment, bringing you guys another video. Today I'm going to be doing my review of The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 7, Stradivarius. So if The Walking Dead is something you're interested in, don't forget to subscribe down below and hit that bell icon. That way you don't miss any more Walking Dead content from me in the future. Now let's begin. So we started this episode off with Rosita running through the woods trying to escape the walkers, and we can hear the whispers in the background. They got it mumbled in the background. You can't totally hear it. You can't totally make out what they're saying. And she's running. She's panicking. And we find out later she hid Eugene in a barn. I'm 50-50 on it. I'm kind of glad we didn't see it because we don't need to see everything. We can hear it later and, have them find him later. But I also kind of wish we did see it. But at the same time, it cut down on some stuff for other things. But you got her running for the woods. She's like, I think she's like dehydrated or something, maybe too. And she's running for the woods and she kind of passes out. She then later shoots off a flare, and she is rescued by Jesus and Aaron. And then earlier we see Jesus. We find out that he is the new leader of the Hilltop. He's been reelected as the Hilltop following Maggie's departure. We find out Maggie's out with Georgie, as most of us, I think, predicted that would be the case. And I think Jesus was an odd choice for a leader because he's one of those people that doesn't look like he'd act as a leader. And I like how they did that because he's sitting on the couch. He doesn't really want to be a leader. He's blowing off Tara. So I really like that because it plays into his character as a whole as well as his leadership role. So I really like how they did that. Tara being his advisor is something interesting. They give her something to do. I'm still hoping that she might die this season, but we'll get into that in another video. But he decides to go out and do stuff, and he meets up with Aaron, and they are sparring. And I love when you got Jesus on the horse and also Aaron comes out of nowhere and attacks him. I think a lot of people, including myself, immediately thought like, oh my god, it's a whisper. And I like how they did that. That was pretty cool. And like I said, the two of them end up sparring, and they end up taking a break, and they see the flare that Rosita shoots off, and they go over and rescue him or her. And I really like how that whole stuff kind of mashed up and worked out together. And I really love in the scene where they're talking about the fair and how they need to reunite the communities. You see someone watching them. I'm presuming that's the Whisperers. So I really like that because we later on see that between some of the other groups in this episode. So I really like how they did that. Really point up the creepiness of with the Whisperers and their introductions. I really love how they're doing that in the episode here. Then we got Carol, Henry, and Daryls Story. Now, I did like what they did here. A lot of the dialogue between Matt and Vince was really good with Daryl. I love that. The one con I had with Daryls Story is it felt a little too predictable here. I mean, I feel like, come on, we all knew Daryl was going to end up joining Carol at the end of the episode. It just felt too predictable with the whole I'm not going, and Henry has a talk with him, and then he decides to go. Just too predictable in certain areas of the story. We do see Daryl's dog. Cool, don't totally care, but it's cool. He's got a dog, something to care about. Really cool, kind of like that's kind of interesting dynamic to the story. Then we end up at nighttime where his dog ends up setting off a trap, or finds a trap set by walkers and ends up getting trapped itself, and Henry helps Daryl free the dog. So, I kind of like this stuff. It's okay, a little too predictable. I do like Matt once again. He's doing some good job with the acting. I know there are some people out there who are not a fan of him, but I do think he's doing some good. He's got some good charisma and some good line delivery, in my opinion. He's doing some good job. I didn't like the guy who played younger Henry. He didn't do much for me, but I do like Matt Wentz, and I'm just interested to see what they do with the Henry and Daryl dynamic at the end as they move into the Hilltop storyline and everything there, because I'm very excited to see what they do there. That's something I really am interested to see how they remix it and stuff like that. But again, I love it a little bit too predictable in certain areas. Like I said, they could have just tightened it up a little bit. Some of it felt a little bit like filler. I liked some of the conversation about where he got the scar, so we do know Daryl has an ex-scar like Michonne. So I'm gonna predict that has something to do with paying homage to Rick. It's like a bondage kind of thing. I wouldn't be surprised if Carol had one too. So I'm very interested to see what goes on there. And I don't know, I like it. It just felt a little bit too predictable, like I said. So it's still good. We definitely needed it, but they could have tightened it up. I did like, though, at night when they're sitting there at the campfire, how you saw that they were also being watched probably by more whispers. So I really do like that as well. I really like how they're playing up the, like I said, the creepiness of the whispers during this introduction part 2. Then we got Michonne and her taking Magnus' group to the Hilltop. Now this is the part where I like some of the stuff that they did, but at other areas it felt like they could have rushed it. Them writing on, I did like the information we got there about Bernie and everything there. That was some good stuff. Magna with her knives got a little annoying after a little bit. Just like, okay, let's move on to something else. It just bothered me. I really, though, and one thing I loved in these beginning scenes was Yumiko. The actress playing her is playing an amazing job. I have already fallen in love with Yumiko and Luke within these first 2 episodes. They're already amazing. I love both of them. Magna, still iffy on me. I feel like she's just still playing that same character from the 100, which is just annoying me. It's like, do something different. Show us some range. So show us what you can do acting wise. And that's one of my issues with the Magna actress, is she was only on, I think, the 100 and maybe a couple of her shows or movies. I feel like they picked someone that shouldn't have been in the role. I don't know. Maybe I'll warm up to her towards the end of the season. But I don't know. Magna's just not hitting it right for me. But as for Connie and Kelly, they're cool. I'm just not as interested as into them as I am for Yumiko and Luke. As much as I don't like the actress for Magna, I'm still interested in that character and like her. The other two just kind of feel like they're there. They're cool, whatever. But I do like how they're giving more stuff to the one savior guy, DJ, now, who's with Alexandria. I really like that. I'm really liking his character. I have a feeling they're setting him up to take a death towards the end of the season at the hands of the new villain. So I definitely feel like they're setting him up just in these couple episodes here to do that. But I'm really liking what they're doing. So, like I said, Magnus taking them. They decide to go back to their group. They find it destroyed. They gather their stuff. And Michonne decides to have DJ and Sadiq take them the rest of the way. So Magnus gets annoyed, of course, saying, you were bringing us here, now you're leaving. And, she finds out that Michonne hasn't been there in a while, and she's like, how can you guarantee our safety? I like the back and forth, because it definitely shows both groups, where their headspace is and everything. I really like the back and forth. They end up having to leave after walkers show up, and they end up camping out in this place. And then there's a scene at nighttime where Luke he's been collecting an instrument. So he's got this one instrument, and Michonne, not trusting him, thinks it's a weapon and slices it in half. And that's where the title comes from. It's a Stradivarius violin type of thing. I'm not totally into instruments, those kind, so I'm not totally know that information. But that happens, and we get this speech about the Neanderthals and man and the music, and I'm torn on this, because in one strength I do like the speech, but in another strength, I don't know, it just felt a little, I don't know how to put it, but it just felt a little bit off and out of place in certain areas. It just, I don't know, I get what they're going for, and I understand everything to the points of the story. But I don't know. I'm mixed on it, because did I like it? Yes, but there are things about it that just seem out of place, and it's just kind of a little. What I think I didn't like about it is it was a story that went on a very long time, and I feel like they could have cut down the speech and everything to give us some more stuff, which isn't entirely a bad thing. I just feel like the speech was a bit long and a little bit drony. It just, I don't know. I understand what they're going for and what they're doing with this speech. It just felt like they could tighten it up a bit and give us some more time to breathe and see more of our characters. And then we got, after that speech, you got DJ coming in warning that there's walkers coming, and they go out and fight. Really cool stuff. I really like how they showed them fighting. Very, very cool stuff. And then at the very end, Michonne realizes that this is the herd that attacked the place they were earlier, and they see that got their friend Bernie. And I really like how they made a point to talk about the shirt, and that's how you knew it was that guy. Really cool, really good emotional scene there, and I really like how they played that out. Very good, and it's Michonne is the one to put Bernie down, and at that point she trusts them and has earned their trust and decides to go the rest of the way to the Hilltop with them at that point. So then we see them heading towards Hilltop, and Sadiq tells her that Maggie's not there. Now I know a lot of people are thinking right away Maggie and Michonne had some kind of falling out. You know, if I'm being honest, I don't believe that. I heard this theory from someone else. I forget who and where, but I believe this is what happened. I believe that when Michonne found out that Maggie left, it wasn't that they were having a beef, but it was that she felt kind of sad because she's lost Rick. Like same thing with Daryl in the beginning of the season. He's there. Carol's over at the kingdom. You know, you got Maggie who would be there. Rick's gone, or they believe he's gone, and then you got Maggie who she finds out is gone. It's kind of like more and more people are leaving, and it's going back to like she's losing the people she had a closeness to, and Daryl's out in the woods. So you know, you kind of get that feeling. I kind of felt like it's that more of that going in that direction, and they had a beef. But I did like how they brought it up, and Sadiq's talking about how, you know, Michonne likes these people and she says, you know, doesn't mean I trust them. And then they end up seeing the two Hilltop riders show up, and they inform them about Rosita, and that's what makes Michonne go to Hilltop and continue the rest of the way. Now, I really like how they ended it again with the Whispers presumably watching them from the woods. I really love how they did that with each group here. Really cool, really creepy stuff. I really love how they did that. It just really played out very well in my opinion, and I really like how they did all that with the Whispers in this episode, gearing us up for their big introduction next episode. So we end with Daryl, Carol, and Henry arriving at the Hilltop, and you got Aaron and Tara going out to look for Eugene, but Jesus decides to go instead, and Tara stays behind to take over the responsibilities of leadership at Hilltop, and you got Daryl and them leaving. I really love the final view as they leave. It's a very beautiful scene. I really kind of emphasize on this new beautiful world, but at the same time I feel like they're doing that also to set up for if they're not safe, you know, the next episode the big villains are coming, so I feel like they're doing something like that. So I really like how they did that beautiful ending scene, as I said. So as for the episode itself, I feel like this is the weakest of the first half so far, at least in my opinion. I don't know, it's just, I like what they did with the Aaron and Jesus story. Really good stuff. Rosita, for the tiny bit she was in, perfect, well handled. The stuff with Daryl and Carol was predictable and could have been tightened up and finished a lot quicker than it was, and we could have gotten more scenes with other stuff. As for the Magna and Michonne and their story, good stuff, but again, they could have tightened up some areas and made it a lot better in my opinion. Overall, though, I gotta say, as for like a rating, I'm gonna give this one like a 6.5 out of 7 or 6.5 or 7, something in that area. It's not a terrible episode, but it's not like great or good. It's just okay. It's nothing like I'm amazed by it. And I feel like they're just kind of trying to... They did this episode to drag things out because they need something big to happen in the finale. And I just feel like, I don't know, it's just like they could have handled it a lot better, where it could have been a lot more exciting like the last few episodes were, and still kept it the way it was, just tighten up some scenes. But overall, not complaining, still a great episode, and excited to see how they are setting things up for the mid-season finale. Yeah, guys, that's my review of The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 7, Stradivarius. As always, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and share. And don't forget to subscribe down below and hit that bell icon. That way you don't miss any more Walking Dead content from me in the future. This has been Vision here with Blind Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.